Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it is politics, pop culture, sports, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real, so do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, on today's conversation, I'm honored. Look, I'm bringing to you another great conversation. I'm honored to have Chesapeake Sheriff Dave Rosado here with us to discuss his run for sheriff for Chesapeake, Virginia. He was appointed. He was an undersheriff for some years, and he was appointed in November of 2024, being appointed as the fourth sheriff in the city of Chesapeake and the first Hispanic sheriff, first in history. And so I'm honored to have him on because he is running to keep that position, to keep that title, and to keep that seat, and to continue to serve the people of Hampton, not just Hampton Roads, but specifically the city of Chesapeake. It's an interesting race happening for him because he is continuing as a write-in. For those that are saying, what do you mean write-in? So just the way it sounds, you are writing in his name come voting day. So I want to chop it up more with him. I've had the opportunity to meet him in person multiple times. Extremely humble, awesome dude. I'm trying to get on his workout regimen because I'm telling you, the man is solid. The man is like, I'm like, okay, I need to definitely get on the sheriff diet. I need to do that. I need to get on that workout regimen. But y'all, here on this program, we talk so much about politics, but I always mention about the importance of having an understanding of your local politics, stuff that happens in your backyard. We tend to keep focus on the federal level and what we see on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all the the higher up when it comes to politics. But you forget the effects that happen in at the Capitol trickles down to the state level, trickles down to your city level. So it's important to have an understanding and know exactly who serves in which positions in the city. And again, look, we're using this as an educational tool too, because not a lot of people know the difference between sheriff's office and police departments. No one really knows not a lot of people know the difference between the two. So again, I'm honored to have Sheriff Rosado on. And so funny story before we move forward too. Well, for one, I want to let y'all know, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into yet another great episode here on the Arrington Gavin Show. If you happen to be streaming us right now on YouTube, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. I truly appreciate it. We are very fortunate to continue to grow our YouTube channel. I see our subscribers and our viewership numbers growing each and every day. Our video shorts are doing amazing. I mean, averaging around 1.5K views, and we want to keep that momentum going. Y'all. So I truly appreciate it. In addition to streaming us on our YouTube channel, you can also stream us on the GOATverse TV app. That's right. GOATverse TV is a growing independent streaming channel, a channel that you can tune into by downloading the app. You can download it on your App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. In addition to that, if you say, well, Arrington, I just prefer to, I'll prefer to listen to you on the go. I don't have the time. I might not have time to watch you, but I would love to tune into you on the go. No worries. You can tune into us. We're available wherever you listen to your podcast. We're available on all major podcast platforms. And also you can check us out on the radio airwaves. That's right, y'all. We can be heard on two of our radio affiliates, one in the New Orleans area. So you might be listening to us right now in New Orleans. Shout out to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, only on WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about. And then we're going to move it on to the Metro Atlanta region, to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. That's right. WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, again on WDJY 99.1 FM. All right, now that I got that out the off of our slate of things we normally do in our intros, I'm gonna have a fun fact for you. But before I do that, I want to share a funny story about my first encounter with Sheriff Rosado. So I have been honored, y'all, to MC events in my local in my hometown of Chesapeake, Virginia, right? So my good friends, shout out to Jeremy and Amber. They are the co-founders of Pride in the Peak, which is a pride event in Chesapeake, the first and only pride event that goes on in the city of Chesapeake. And it's, shining a light on our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ community. And so they asked, hey, look, would you want to MC our soundstage? I'm like, why not? Hey, look, I always say I might be straight, but I don't hate. And it would be an honor to do so. So I had the opportunity of doing that. And I had, it was my job to acknowledge our elected officials in attendance at that event. And usually, me, I'm like, I'm very strict. I make sure I have my notes. I need a list of folks ahead of time, even though I know a good number of them. At the time, I was not fully introduced to Sheriff Rosado. And so I messed up on his last name. And I truly apologize. And I apologize every time when I see him. But I had said Resposado. And I'm like, oh my God, this man's going to be like, this dude, did he just say? And I was first of all, I was embarrassed, of course. And on top of that, I'm like, quick, Arrington, how do you make up? I'm like, see, what had happened was, Sheriff, next door is Union Taco. And see, I was hot. I was thirsty. And see, that's my tequila of choice. And I'm like, okay, because I really thought, I'm like, that was going to be it for me. Like I said, Sheriff Rosado ain't no tiny dude. I'm like, oh God, he's about to toss me out somewhere. But that was my first interaction with Sheriff Rosado, and I've seen him many times after that. But really, really nice guy. So I'm honored to have him on. And he served the city for more than 20 years, and so a true person of the people, as and it's hard to find individuals like that, at least in today's age. So. Now, before I move to a commercial break, let me throw in our fun fact. So a fun fact about Sheriff Rosado is that not only is he the sheriff of a city, of the second largest city population-wise in the state of Virginia, but he's also a magician. Wait, what? Magician and a sheriff? I mean, how cool is that, right? First of all, I think I might know maybe one card trick that makes me think that for me, I'm like, okay, after this one card trick, I'm off to Vegas. I got me a set and everything. I'm good. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So he goes around the city and does at different events doing magic. And I think that's so awesome. Again, showing bridging the gap from law enforcement and the community. So he brings a more, calmer, a more easier way to communicate and to what's the word I'm looking for, and to fellowship really with the people of Chesapeake. So there's your fun fact, my friends. Look, do not go anywhere. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. Do not change that dial.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're going to bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, And I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
Yeah, this that new Goldverse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing Goatverse TV.
Goldverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin. Look, again, I told you earlier that I'm honored to have a special guest here on the show for a great conversation. The one and only Chesapeake Sheriff Dave Rosado. Let me go ahead and bring him on. Sheriff, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Arrington, and yourself?
All right, look, can't complain. The weather's beautiful, and it's a great day today. Great day. But I'm honored to have you on again. Thank you for taking the time out your busy schedule, because it's election season, man. It's crunch time. It's busy going around here in the city of Chesapeake, and really just all across this nation, right? And so I know you're extremely busy, but I thank you again for taking the time to come here for a conversation here on the show. Before I move forward, Sheriff, if you don't mind just sharing a brief background about yourself to our listeners.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Arrington, for having me. I am Dave Rosado, proud to serve as your sheriff and at the sheriff's office, serving for over 23 years. I started as a deputy and moved my way up to now working as your sheriff. It's important to know that serving the city of Chesapeake is one of my greatest honors. And not only the sheriff, I'm also a husband, a dad, and a son. And it's all about family. That's why upon my appointment, I had these little wristbands. And on it says family. So that is the change of culture that we have here. So everyone knows that we are a family, and I value all the families that work here at the office.
That's awesome. Sheriff, I want to ask, what was public service always a part of your life? During your youth years, like this, was this something that you just knew this is going to be my calling? When the older I get, was this something that was always planned, or was it planned at a later age?
Well, I was raised to believe that service, whether it's public service or serving your neighborhoods, your church, that was very important. And I learned that from my dad. My dad was a leader within the community as well as the church. And that's where I learned about service. Growing up, being a youth leader in my church, as well as having friends from the force. I'm in New York, I'm in Brooklyn, and a lot of my friends were from NYPD. So being around that, I cherish their service to others. And also I was part of a youth mentoring program when I worked for, I used to work in TV broadcast. Okay. And we had a group of kids from the inner city of Spanish Harlem that we mentored, and we helped pay for their college tuitions.
Wow.
So it was certainly something that I was a part of, but not till I moved to Chesapeake in 1999, following my family. My whole family moved out here first. And I followed. I was the last one. They had to twist my arm to come here. But I'm a close-knit, very Puerto Rican culture, and we're about staying together, celebrating together, and doing things together. So I moved here, and next thing you know, I was introduced to the sheriff's office from a job that I had as a trainer over at Valley Total Fitness. And I met the general manager. We became best of friends. His name is Chris Pascal. And he came over to the sheriff's office, was telling me all about it, was saying, this is a great place to work. We can do great things here. We can outwork everyone here. Let's do it. Come on over. And I was reluctant at first. It took him a little while, but I decided to come over, and it's been life-changing.
Wow.
The best thing that's happened, I think it's also God's plan. He brought me here from Brooklyn to Chesapeake, and now being the sheriff, it's definitely something that with my faith, I believe in.
That's awesome. And it's funny you say when you mentioned where you were originally your first home, because my family, they were speaking highly about you. I really like Sheriff Rosado. And now when I tell them you're in New York, because my family is also from New York. I'm from Chesapeake, but they're from New York. So Jamaica, Queens, we got family all over across the border and stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we got some family out there. Now, Sheriff, I would like for you to, if you can, what is the difference? Explain to our audience or educate our audience on the difference between the sheriff's office and the police department. Because I still sometimes will be like, I'm still learning. Hold up. Let me put this down on paper. Can you explain the difference between the two?
Sure. Absolutely. And before I do, just want to tell you that here in Chesapeake, the public safety family, which is sheriff's office, police department, and fire department, we work very closely together.
Awesome.
And that is at times not typical in other cities, because there's some inner turmoil sometimes within the departments and offices. But here in Chesapeake, that's why Chesapeake is one of the safest cities, because of the work that we do together. So the police chief is appointed by the city manager. So the city manager does a national-wide search for a police chief. If, let's say, for instance, the last great police chief, Kelvin Wright, when he retired, they had a search for the next police chief. But obviously they knew that his deputy chief was the right man for it. And that's Mark Selesky, and he is our police chief now. So that is a job that there's interviews and there is appointments for. So they have to go through and choose the right person, the best person to be our police chief.
Gotcha.
With the sheriff is a constitutional officer and is elected in office. So the sheriff answers to the people. So they are his boss or her boss. So that is the main difference. We are a sheriff's office, a constitutional office. The police department is a department of the city, like the fire department is a department of the city.
Gotcha.
So that would be the difference. And also the sheriff's office primary duties are jail security, also provide courtroom and courthouse security, service of all civil papers. And those are the main duties, as well as now we have our school resource deputy program in the elementary schools of the Chesapeake Public Schools.
Awesome.
And that is very, very important to have safety and security, and for the families, the staff, and of course the children. And it gives the children a first interaction with law enforcement, which is a positive one.
Absolutely.
Because the folks that work at the schools as school resource deputies, they are the best trained and the biggest hearts for the children.
Got you. And how? And may I ask, Sheriff, how long has that been going on in the schools? The sheriff, what you were just explaining.
This is the third year that we're into
Wow.
the schools. Yeah, this
Wow.
is the third year. We've expanded from when we first started in the schools. We had 8 deputies, and now we have 15 deputies. Wow. So you have a deputy that has 2 schools in proximity that they go back and forth. And then you also right now have 2 deputies dedicated to 2 individual schools. And these are the schools that are identified that would need someone full-time there.
I got you.
There's 28 elementary schools from primary, intermediate, and elementary throughout Chesapeake. So for those 28 schools, we have 15 school resource deputies as well as 2 supervisors to manage all of
awesome. And these are just elementary schools currently.
Only elementary schools. The police department have school resource officers, and they are in the middle and high schools.
Got you. No, and that's important. I wanted to know more about that because sadly in our nation we have way too many stories of tragedies that occur in schools. So I think that's extremely important to know.
What's important too is that this program, the way it was created, it was because of different incidences in the schools. And when they were more so in the elementary schools in other cities, then we had to find a solution here. So along working with our public safety brothers and sisters from the police department, the school administration, and also the school board. And all that came together, and we were able to provide that service to the schools. And I greatly appreciate the school board for funding this program, because we have great partnerships with the public schools, the administration, and all the teachers and staff. But together as a team, coming in as a team, we're able to make this happen.
I love that word that you mentioned is team, because I feel as though in our current society, right? And I compare stuff to a lot of what goes on in Washington, because again, I said it in the beginning, it trickles down to the state and a local level, and we're not seeing a lot of team dynamics happening. We have a lot of divisiveness occurring. During your time in the sheriff department, in the sheriff's office, you mentioned over 23 years. What positions, what titles did you hold within those 23 years, and now, which led you to now serving as sheriff of the city?
Well, the most cherished title that I had was deputy sheriff. When I first started in 2001, I worked in our correctional center in the jail, and that's what taught me most of what I know today. Walking through the halls, going through the gates, speaking with the incarcerated people in our care. I was there half my day with these folks, and they can't do for themselves. It is our job to help them and to do for them. The judge and the court system, they sentence them and we hold them. But in the jail, we have some great programs that have helped them. But I think the most important thing of working as a deputy is our voice, communication. We're able to talk to folks, and these folks, they're someone's brother, someone's dad, someone's friend, someone they went to school with. So it's important for us to treat others with respect, because that's how we want to be treated. But I think being a deputy sheriff, as a boots on the ground, is the most best title that I can cherish. Other than that, just working through the ranks and getting promoted on up with the hard work that I did. Working in the training academy, I was the academy director as a captain, and working in the training academy was one of the highlights, because you had men and women, sometimes young, sometimes you had veterans that this is their second career. Wow. And when they come in, and just to mold them, to train them, and to make them realize that they can make a difference. Not anyone can do this job. You're working in a jail. You're working 12.25-hour shifts. You're in there with these men and women that are there either pre-sentence before going to court or sentence. And there's a lot of stress going on. But the impact that you can have is a positive impact while they're in our care. And I think that was the most important thing that I did as a in my upper command as a captain. But of course, ultimately being the sheriff is, for me, the highlight of my life, other than, having a wife and having kids, because it's the people that you interact with. It is the one-on-one conversations. It's listening to people from all walks, whether they're seniors that need help or they're the youth that are looking ahead to the future. And how can we mold them? How can we motivate them? How can we inspire them by the badge that we wear and let them know that we are here for them? We want you to run towards us, not away from us. So I think that's really important in my role.
Oh, no, I couldn't agree with you more on that one. And, I always have to give flowers to the sheriff's office, because I run a nonprofit, and we've always, since day one, we've always had the sheriff's office provide the student IDs, and it's been a blessing having them there. And again, bringing that comfort level to bridging that gap between law enforcement and the community, and seeing the kids light up and want to grab pictures with them and all that. Like, that's the kind of momentum you want to continue to see being pushed in the narrative you want to see pushed in your local cities. Before I move forward to your campaign, I want to ask. So I'm hearing all this, these accomplishments that you've had in your over 23 years. Where in the world did magic come from? Where did this start? I'm curious. I'm so curious.
Well, look, I can tell you that it really did come from. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I was just going to show you my.
You might want to take that out there, right?
Yes. Magic is something that I came across, was introduced when I was in college. I was in college and working at the same time. And there was a salesman who showed me a card trick. And I was so impressed with it that I said, hey, where can I learn? And he, in turn, was impressed with my question. Most people say, hey, can you show me? And he heard me say, how can I learn? So he turned me on to a local historical magic shop called Tannins. It's one of the oldest magic shops in New York. And I just spent my lunch breaks, after work, weekends there, just fiddling around, grabbing things, learning this and that. And then in 96 is when I turned pro, which means I started getting paid for it. So I would work at local nightclubs, private events, and also where I worked in the TV broadcast. I did a lot of magic for celebrities and things like that, because I worked for Geraldo Rivera on his talk show for 10 years. Wow. I did everything from being his personal assistant, wardrobe consultant, cameraman, and bodyguard.
Wow, that is awesome. I have so many questions. See, I have the magician questions now on one side, and then
I'll just wrap it up with this. So when I moved to Chesapeake in '99, I started doing my magic, and it was more family oriented. Did tons of birthday parties, special events, award ceremonies, corporate work, as well as school assembly magic shows. And that's what I focus on now. Since 2010, I've been to all the schools in Chesapeake and even some others from other cities, but primarily doing the school assembly anti-bully magic shows. And I've been in front of over 80,000 students since then. And I have people coming up to me, as kids that may have seen me last year, to adults that have said, hey, you were at my school and now my kids watch you. So that's a great testament to the message. And when I share the message or express it through magic, it resonates and it captures their attention, and they walk away with the message. So
that is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm first of all, you're not going to be a stranger because I'm going to have you back on, and we're going to talk mostly magic. Because like I said, I got some more questions, but I want to discuss this race. So you're running to continue your position as sheriff for the city of Chesapeake. You were appointed, as I mentioned earlier, you were appointed to sheriff in November of 2024, being the fourth in history as well as the first Hispanic elected in that or appointed in that position. You were in the running of, again, you were already endorsed by our former sheriff Jim O'Sullivan, who served the position for quite some years, and you're running the Republican in the Republican primary. And I bring this up because I'm trying to kind of gather all our listeners of where I'm going with this. You were running in the primary and already received the endorsement, the support from your former colleague Sheriff O'Sullivan, and all of a sudden it comes that there is another newcomer that has been endorsed by the Republican Party of the city for the city of Chesapeake. The Chesapeake Republican Party has endorsed, and other folks, other leaders had endorsed, and it's a primary really with just you two in that same holding that same position, because there was no independent running, there was no Democrat running for sheriff for the city, so it was just basically two Republicans running against each other to basically get elected as the next sheriff. Now you end up losing that, and then you left the GOP, and now you're running as an independent, and you're continuing your campaign as a write-in. I want to ask Sheriff Rosado, was this when did the not idea, how can I put this, was it always going to be, okay, if I was elected, would I stay in the GOP? And I want to really, I want to be frank here, because a lot of voters are, probably assuming, why continue running in the primary if you're seeing that you're not receiving as much support? Like, it's almost like a kick in the face, in my opinion, in my eyes. Not, I'm speaking for myself here. In my opinion, when I saw this, I felt like it was a bit disrespectful, because again, you've already been serving in the sheriff's office for over 23 years. You have the backing, you have the support from the previous sheriff the previous sheriff of the city, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're going to sway and move this guy forward after you've already put in the work. And I mean, am I kind of stepping on some toes here? I mean, I'm curious if you would have won, would you have stayed with the local GOP? If you would want to answer that question.
Sure. Well, I can tell you just with our previous conversation about how the police chief gets chosen. Basically, you have the police chief, and on his way out, his recommendation would be for his deputy chief to succeed him. And that's what happened, not just once, but twice in my time here in Chesapeake. So when Sheriff Newhart says, hey, I'm going to have Sheriff O'Sullivan succeed me, everyone is, Sheriff, he knows. He knows who would be the best person to succeed him. So it happened this time around. Sheriff O'Sullivan said, Dave Rosado is my guy. He is the one that's going to continue to lead this office, just expanding on the legacies of Newhart and O'Sullivan to continue leading the office because of all the great things that we've done up till now.
Yeah.
So that is something that is respected. But this time around, it certainly was not.
Yeah.
They, when I say they, the leaders of the Chesapeake GOP, they sought not 1, 2, 3, 4, but the opponent was the 5th pick before he said yes to run in the primary race. And that was because Sheriff Newhart and Sheriff O'Sullivan would never bow down to the GOP leaders that have been entrenched in the party for over 30 years. And when it was my time to come through, and after being appointed, they also tried to they try to influence me to do a political favor, so to speak. And I said no. So again, they knew they could not control me. And that was for them on their part. That's when those leaders chose to endorse the opponent at the primary. So it was something that, and to answer your question directly, I worked for 2 Republican sheriffs. Okay, I supported my sheriff. They gave me a job. They acknowledged my work, my hard work, dedication to the office, and I rose through the ranks, earning every position that I got. I'm a very loyal person, and I was loyal to both the sheriffs. Sheriff O'Sullivan, of course, more recently, upon his retirement, he asked if I would continue running as a Republican to finish his term. He retired in year 3. It's a 4-year term, and I honored that. And we had, lots of conversations about the future. And he knew that I had to make a decision in January of 2026 whether I want to continue. And that conversation was made because of the turmoil within the Republican GOP. Now, I'm saying not the whole party, but there were those in power, like the Forbes machine, and ones that would bow to the Forbes. And I'm talking about those folks. They made it so a nasty race where they were basically, running the opponent's campaign, and all this negative stuff came out, all these lies that came out. And I'm like, wow, it's not 2 individuals running on based on their merit. No, it was based on their lies about me. My campaign was based on my experience, my proven track record, my qualifications, actually working as a deputy sheriff and moving, ascending up through the ranks to be chosen as the sheriff and get appointed as sheriff. I've done the job, and day 1 in November after winning this write-in election, and I'll talk more about the write-in aspect of it, January, with my hand raised, being sworn in as the elected sheriff. That is basically the goal, the mission, the vision. But day 1, I know what to do. Because I've been doing it. On day 1, he has no clue. And I say that not in a disrespectful way, but he has 0 experience in the sheriff's office. He doesn't know the administrative aspect of it. He doesn't know how to run the office. He has never worked as a deputy, boots on the ground, doing the job day to day. He has no idea of the culture that has been here for over 20 years and how that culture has changed. The training aspects of it. Being a police officer, I thank him for his duty to the city. I do. But it's apples and oranges. And I've said this analogy before. They're both fruits. We're both in law enforcement, but totally, completely different. And I appreciate what he does, but he can't do this job. He can't do my job. He can't. And in the just 23 and a half years, almost 24 in October, that I'll have here, the way that I've risen through the ranks through merit and through working hard and being acknowledged and doing the work. For 26 years, he's been in the police department and has risen to the ranks of lieutenant. That's not even a command staff position. So if he could not ascend in 26 years to being the police chief, what makes him think that he can be the sheriff? It's just a total different job.
Yeah, and again, no disrespect to your opponent who served law enforcement here in the police department, but you said it right there. The elites of the local GOP is finding somebody to replace you, and for me, and everybody on the show knows I am a independent through and through. I'm not married to any party. I support the individual. I'm not married to any party, and it's unfortunate. I'm not unfortunate about that, but just it's unfortunate that we do live in a society where you see this happening in political parties. I mean, you have it happen in the right, you have it happen in the left, in different levels. And so right then and there, I see folks who have endorsed you during the Republican Party, who's now, endorsing this guy because, as you mentioned, they're somewhat following orders that's given to them by, their superiors. And it's unfortunate because it should be the people over politics. Now, another question I want to ask Sheriff Rosado: when you first saw that that local GOP was not going to endorse you, did it ever cross your mind to say, well, look, maybe I either should run just fully as an independent, so by then I can have some time, or just and I mentioned and I respect the fact that when you mentioned your loyalty from those who guided you to that position were registered Republican, which is nothing wrong with that, by the way, y'all. I say it all the time. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. There's good folks on all sides too. But I'm thinking of as far as strategy wise, right? Because now you're running as a write-in, which it's not going to be easy, because at the end of the day you have to rely on voters to remember the name through and through, and wait in line, write that name down. It's not as easy as, say, having that name just on the ballot where they can just check and cross over. So if you don't mind, go ahead, Sheriff.
No, just to answer that and to talk about the writing campaign. So it is for some unknowns, new people that get into a race. They may have missed the deadline. They still want to be in it, and everyone has a right to write in someone that is part of the process. For me, because of my 23 and a half years being in the city as working in the sheriff's office, I've been involved and invested in our community. So people know my name, people know who I am. If you show them a picture of me, they know. If you say my name, they'll know. So the write-in campaign, everywhere I go, everywhere from 7-Elevens to people in the streets, they say, hey, I was going to write your name in anyway.
Wow.
And I'm so happy that you're still in this race, because you mentioned something earlier about voters. It was less than 6% of the voters that came out for the primary, on the Republican primary. So you had 12,000 in total that came out to vote in the Republican primary, compared to, we have over 253,000 citizens here in Chesapeake, and over, I think it's 140,000 registered voters. So how can that small percentage of people determine who the next sheriff is? So it was a primary where you had to choose one or the other ballot. I've had so many people that were Democrats and said, I went to vote for you, but you weren't on my ballot. And I was so confused and upset. I wanted the other ballot. They said I couldn't have the other ballot. I'm like, but I want to vote for my sheriff, but you can't. And that was an ongoing thing. There's hundreds, if not more, thousands of people who wanted to vote for me that could not. They didn't understand, and they felt like it was not a fair process. But in the general election, you can vote, you can write in someone's name, and I'm asking everyone to write in Dave Rosado. Now, I have support from the Republican side, people that are Republicans. I have support of independents, and I have support of Democrats. Now, let me tell you, once I made a decision, the decision, and that decision was with my family and the team, those closest to me, and we just worked so hard for what we have, and there's still so much to do. What we want to do is serve. We want to serve more people than ever before. So this is the opportunity to do that, to serve all people, not some people, but all people. So once that happened and we put in, I amended my paperwork, and it was too late to become a Democrat or an independent. So I was a write-in. When that occurred, I had so much support from the Democratic Party where they said, hey, we want to support you. We did not put anyone in the primary because we felt you were going to win, and we want you as our sheriff.
Yeah.
And that I was really, really taken back. But they said, we want to make sure that you are our sheriff. We want to endorse you. So the Democratic Party of Chesapeake endorsed me as a candidate for sheriff on their ballot, on their sample ballot.
Which
so that is, say again?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, which that speaks high volumes on your record, Sheriff, because like you said, you don't just have, a party that is, supporting. You have endorsements from Republican voters and Republican former Republican elected officials, from independents, from Democrat. Like, that's a big deal. And again, I want to throw this out there to our listeners. You're running as a independent write-in. You received an endorsement from the Democrat, or from a political party. That's pretty major. At least in the past few elections, it's always been those who are registered. But again, it speaks volume that so many folks say, wait a minute, we're friends of Dave Rosado. You know what I mean? Like, we're leaning toward that. Again, I just want to give you your flowers on that, because that speaks volumes. And I give you your flowers because I advocate so much on this program of my frustration of the party politics. And it's nothing against, because I have friends that are, elected officials that are Democrats. I have friends that are elected officials that are Republicans. It's nothing against them per se. It's just the fact that when you move up the ladder, it's so much divisiveness. You really, it's always like, this side is better than your side. It's good to see like folks saying, no, I'm gonna join together because this guy truly is doing what's right for the community. So again, I just want to give you your flowers on that right there.
Thank you.
Yes,
and keep in mind, understand the office. The sheriff's office is for all people.
Yeah.
We mostly serve, because of the demographics in the city, we mostly serve a lot of underrepresented communities.
Yes.
So we've been doing that. We're at the churches, we're at the events, we're at the back to school, we're at the schools themselves, and we put on a free football camp for the kids during the summer. We put on a free senior seminar that's at the conference center in its 35th year.
Wow.
We put on an event at the Food Fest in order to raise money for our senior programs, and that's the Great American Food Fest. And all those things that we've been doing for years, it's only been getting better because of different administrations seeing how we can increase the service to others, how we can increase raising funds for these programs. And that's what it's about, because everything that we raise through our 501c charities, every dollar that we raise goes right back to the community. And that's what's important. We have Charities Inc. for our seniors. We have Children Today, Leaders Tomorrow for our youth. And that is so important to help the most vulnerable populations, which are our seniors and our youth. That's what we do. That's one of the missions that we have, is community engagement to help our seniors and our youth. So the sheriff's office should not have an R, an I, or a D in front of it, because we serve everyone. Other people that are running are focusing more on one party or one group. I don't, and I can't, because I serve everyone, and I've been doing that from day one. That's why I take it as a compliment when the Democratic committee says, hey, we want to endorse you because of all the good work that I've done. And I also am happy with Republican support that I have, and some of the endorsements that I still have. Some endorsements that they had to, like you said, bow down and endorse the other candidate. But in my heart, do I think they'll write my name in November? I think so. I do, because you have to kind of do it for the party. But this is people over politics.
Yeah.
And that's why, as a sheriff, I don't consider myself, and I never call myself a politician. I'm a servant. I'm a servant leader. And I've proven that, and I do it every day. And that's all I want to do. Serve the people in the facility, the people that I work with, and the people in the community.
I hear you there, Sheriff. I think one thing about this election, this race for the sheriff's office, it has been well known around the 7 cities, the Hampton Roads area, because you're not the first public servant for the city of Chesapeake who has gone out public to leave the local GOP. I very soon I'll have on Commonwealth Attorney Matt Hamill on the program. I'm good friends with the former councilman Don Carey. He's no stranger to this program. Me personally, I think this race would really shine a light to a lot of the Chesapeake voters, those who have consider themselves Republicans, being like, wait a minute, what is really going on here? Because it's unfortunate. Again, we want to continue to hear the people over politics, because that's what's important at the end of the day. And I've said it here on the program, our officials that we elect, no one is above the people. You're here to serve. You're here to serve the community. And I think that's that's another reason why, when we talk about this, another conversation for another day, but low voting turnout, folks feeling you mentioned unrepresented communities, communities that are being overlooked. It's unfortunate. That shouldn't be an issue at all. But a lot of folks feel as though there's promises have never been met. No questions have been answered for them. And so it's important that we have elected officials, again, like yourself, staying involved in the community, always, regardless of which area of the city you are in, you are there. I appreciate you for showing up to my nonprofit event. Again, like I said, extremely busy guy, and that speaks volumes. I'm a person that I don't hold my tongue when it comes to our elected officials, regardless if you're friends or not. But if I still I do so, because it's when folks tell me in conversations like, hey, look, I don't have the opportunity to get to speak with our our elected officials. Can you share this? Can you share this? Can you share that? And it's important. It's important when it comes to local issues happening in our communities, state issues, and all the way up to the top.
And it's very important to have a conversation. I mean, if
Absolutely.
you and I don't agree, it's okay. You don't see my point of view, or I can't understand yours, but ultimately we're going to walk out the door together because we've established a relationship. And that's what I don't get. I've had many relationships in the Republican Party that I'm still very secure with. And then those that you just don't agree on something, and they just cut you off, and they do everything in their power to ruin your life. It's not just winning an election, ruin your life. And there's a difference between this race, the sheriff's race, and any other race. I'm in law enforcement. I can't lie. I can't. So when you have another person who is in law enforcement, whose campaign is based on lies, that's a problem. People need to realize that. This person, my opponent, has lied about me, about what I've done. Let me tell you, I have been called a criminal. Wow. I have been called a gang member. They have said that doubted my love for my wife. They have also called me homosexual, and that I was too brown for this town. So all of those things. So if someone is running and they hear that and it's coming from their camp, hey, we got to stop that. That is not happening. But no, when someone lets that go and someone in their approved materials that they send out where, that have released illegals out in the streets, that's not true. So many things that they have said where I am stealing from my deputies' pockets, part-time work, that is not true. All these things, and I bring that up to give you examples of the lies that are based on this campaign. If you have nothing to run on, you run on that. And all my campaign is based on, again, my experience, my proven track record, my qualifications, my involvement in the community. And it's been just a positive experience. And my career has been a wonderful career because of the men and women that I work with, because the shared values that we have, and that is put upon our community. That is reflected in our work that we do in the community. We volunteer so many hours to help our community members, our seniors, our kids, our churches, our neighborhoods. And that's what we do. And why, try to come in and break that down? It makes no sense. But obviously, we are in this for the right reasons, and just need for people to know, in order to continue the work that we're doing, the positive work, we need to write in Dave Rosado on that dotted line. Don't forget to fill in the box. And that's how we're going to be victorious, not for me, but for we.
Sheriff Rosado, while you were talking, I wanted to put up this for those who are watching this right now. Again, I want to put in his website, Sheriff Rosado, if you don't mind sharing how people can continue to follow up and stay, learn more about your background, and just just how can people stay in touch with what you have going on in the city. Absolutely.
They can go onto my Facebook page, which is Sheriff Dave Rosado. You also have my website, friendsofdaverosado.com. You can click on the contact, so that if you need a yard sign, we'll go drop it off. If you want to volunteer, if you want to walk with me in the neighborhoods, or be at a poll handing out my material and supporting the work that I do, supporting the writing campaign. And you could also click on the donation page so you can help us move forward. And that way we could all know that the movement is alive, is well, and is strong.
Sheriff Rosado, again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out your busy schedule. If you don't mind, I would love to chop it up with you just for about 60 seconds after this show. But again, thank you so much for your service. Best of luck to you on your campaign. Again, I appreciate you as a lifelong Chesapeake resident here. I know the track record, and I've seen you around in the communities. And again, thank you for your service, and thank you for coming here on the show. Do not be a stranger. Again, I want to bring you back on. We want to talk some more magic and all that good stuff. But like I said, don't go anywhere. But I do thank you again for coming here on the program.
Thank you, Arrington. It was a blessing. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, my friends. Well, look, I hope you enjoyed another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. That's what we do here on the program. We give great conversation because it's important. It's important to have those conversations. Be sure to continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights, available on all digital and streaming platforms. Look, stay blessed, stay informed, stay safe out there in those streets. Look, my friends, I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.